Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Li Wei Tai. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, Thailand's Tzu Chi aid distributions for last year's flood victims come to an end after reaching out to nearly 2,000 households. The onset of colorectal cancer has no obvious symptoms, making it hard to pick up on the disease, but now there's a new screening method for early detection. And if you're in Taiwan, every time you shop at a convenience store, you can make a donation by telling the cashier to keep the change for an organization of your choice. We kick off the show in Thailand, a country that has survived its worst flooding in half a century. Now, more than 6 months after the disaster, Tzu Chi's efforts on behalf of the disaster victims continues unabated. Since mid-January, nearly 600 volunteers carried out distributions in 26 towns and villages throughout the central provinces of Nakhon Pathom and Ayutthaya, helping close to 2,000 households or 3,300 people recover.
Mimicking the hand motions of Tzu Chi volunteers on stage, residents of Nakhon Pathom's Kongyang Township are smiling as they haven't in a long time. With bamboo banks in hand, volunteers explain the spirit behind them, and residents eagerly donate what they can, helping to help others even worse off than themselves.
I can also help others. Today, you guys have come here and helped us, and we will also try our best to help others, even if it is not a lot.
In 2011, Thailand was struck with the worst flooding in half a century, with floods lasting nearly 6 months. Particularly hard hit were Ayutthaya and Nakhon Pathom provinces, with everything submerged underwater for close to 3 months.
Nakhon Pathom suffered from serious flooding. Floodwaters lasted for 3 months and reached up to 2.5 meters. It was really serious around here. The lives of residents were extraordinarily difficult. I took some pictures, and when I saw them, I got very sad. I decided to notify Brother Jin Ronggang that this area really needed help. Next, Brother Jin came and did a disaster survey, after which he and other volunteers returned to carry out an aid distribution. So I'm thankful for that.
From mid-January, volunteers have carried out aid distributions in 26 townships and villages in and around Ayutthaya and Nakhon Pathom provinces. Tzu Chi's continuing care has deeply moved many of the aid recipients.
I wish your family happiness and fulfillment, and every person peace, and to never meet any adversity. We have met with hard times and know how difficult it is.
This series of aid distributions has given them all a chance to better understand Tzu Chi. It has also given us a chance to bring Tzu Chi into even more communities and allow them to join us in the follow-up recycling and conservation work, as well as community volunteering work.
The 1-month-long aid distribution mobilized 600 volunteers and served a total of nearly 2,000 households. The distributions were also a chance for those whose lives have already returned to normal to help others out and allow Tzu Chi's great love to spread even further among residents of this country.
Staying in Thailand to get ready for a new year of charity work, Tzu Chi volunteers organized a 2-day seminar and took advantage of the chance to welcome some new blood into the organization.
Receiving a commissioner badge followed by a warm hug, this is a proud moment for this 76-year-old volunteer who was diagnosed with cancer at the end of last year and couldn't go back to Taiwan to receive her commissionership from Master Zheng Yen.
The master was personally concerned about me. I thought today would never come because I don't think I have the ability, but everyone was very kind, so I came to take part.
To prepare for a new year of charity work, Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand organized this 2-day seminar and took advantage of the opportunity to welcome new members. The man on stage is the Thai government's Family Bonding Project Chief of Public Health, Dr. Cho Boon Leong, who is also a Tzu Chi volunteer.
I have faith that in 5 years' time, Tzu Chi in Thailand will develop more to realize the mission of Tzu Chi people and benefit the public, and I will still come to join in.
Although they they cannot understand the words of the Chinese Buddhist sutra, everyone follows along with the sign language movements.
I thought after I retired I would go to the temple every month, but household and business affairs kept me away. But now I have the chance to learn to be a Tzu Chi volunteer. I think the Tzu Chi way is very good. Tzu Chi does what I want to do.
Newly qualified Tzu Chi volunteers are like green shoots sprouting out from the ground who will need to be nourished and tended before they can branch and grow into pillars of Tzu Chi's missions.
Taiwan's National Zhengzhi University's Department of Religious Studies is planning to establish a center dedicated to religious research. As part of their preparatory work, professors and students flew to Malaysia, a country with diverse cultures and faiths, for field research. The group of delegates also visited Tzu Chi's Jingsi Hall and Dialysis Center in Penang to understand how the Buddhist NGO promotes its work overseas.
12 professors, students and family members from Taiwan National Zhengzhi University's Religious Study Department arrived at Penang Jingsi Hall in Malaysia as a part of their overseas excursion. To welcome the guests, the children of Penang Tzu Chi Kindergarten not only sing and perform sign language, but also make bamboo coin banks to inspire their guests to give. Through the 8-day trip, professors and students hope to gain a deeper understanding of the multicultural country as a part of their plan to establish an Asian religion research center back in Taiwan. One of their destinations is Malaysia's Jingsi Hall and Dialysis Center.
A point worth mentioning about Tzu Chi is that it is based on Buddhist philosophy and doing good deeds around the globe. The spirit of giving is the most recent representation of Han Buddhism. We want to gain an understanding of the spirit of kindness, compassion, joy, and giving, and how it was passed on.
Volunteers share their experiences with their overseas guests and also include an introduction of Tzu Chi's work around the globe. The group of delegates next visits the dialysis center. Medical volunteers and staff tell the story of the dialysis center and also put on a video clip about the dialysis patients' lives.
In our interview at the Penang Jingsi Hall, we found out that although it hasn't been established for that long, you can already tell that it is having a positive effect on society. Even the government recognizes Tzu Chi. This is because the NGO is completely devoted to bettering society.
From Tzu Chi's Jingsi Hall to the Dialysis Center, educators and students are all inspired by the Buddhist NGO's work, which is a true example of love that transcends all boundaries.
Social work students from Taiwan's Tzu Chi University recently went to Indonesia on an educational tour. On Valentine's Day, they arrived in Singkaran in West Jakarta to meet students from the local Tzu Chi school. Through a fun art lesson, the students, despite their age and language differences, connected with one another, marking another memorable episode in this overseas trip for the future social workers.
Anticipation is high as the students of Tzu Chi Primary School in Singkaran in Indonesia's West Jakarta welcome their visitors from Taiwan's Tzu Chi University. The songs being sung are familiar for the hosts and guests alike, regardless of their language differences. The college students prepare an art lesson for the 4th graders on making paper butterflies and giving the kids a lot of room for their imaginations to run wild.
I am thrilled to meet my seniors from Taiwan. They taught us how to sing and to make paper butterflies.
Thank you for teaching me.
The lessons went down so well with the Indonesian pupils that nobody minded extending their school day for another 2 hours. Their enthusiasm left a deep impression in the minds of the Taiwanese visitors.
They returned the unused paper to us. I think they don't take anything for granted.
Every student came to say thank you and goodbye to us. I think we are the ones that should thank them for giving us the opportunity to get to know them. The meeting of Tzu Chi students from different countries has proved to be an enjoyable and memorable one for all.
Moving to Xiamen, China, Tzu Chi care recipients all have different stories. Some have been involved in car accidents and can no longer work, while others have suffered mental breakdowns from too much pressure. Regardless of the difficulties that they face, the one thing that unites them is their courage to walk on and their faith that they can turn to Tzu Chi in times of need.
When Xuling Chang was 7, a large fall left him with mental retardation and a lazy eye. His father, in regret, committed suicide soon after, but his mother is determined to keep the family together.
We grow vegetables in front of our house to save money. We have never bought vegetables. If our neighbors have a surplus, we will use that also.
32 this year, Huiya suffered a nervous breakdown in junior high school and has been entirely dependent on her mother's care since. Knowing the girl enjoys songs, volunteers sing for her.
Thank you for coming here to my house to sing for me. They were beautiful songs and made me very happy. They made me feel very blessed.
Each care recipient that Tzu Chi volunteers in Xiamen visit has their own sad story to tell. However, with Tzu Chi's help and their own courage, many are slowly walking out of the darkness.
Mom, thank you for taking care of me for so many years.
In Taiwan, due to diet changes, which includes more refined and processed food, colorectal cancer is on the rise. As symptoms are not obvious till later stages, patient survival rate has been low. Now there is a new, simpler and quicker screening method that can help detect the disease early on.
A few years ago, when Ms. Chen was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, she opted for alternative therapy instead of going to a hospital. 5 years later, the cancer metastasized.
The cancer has metastasized to my liver, lungs, uterus, vagina, rectum, anus, and pelvis.
At this stage, Ms. Chen had less than 10% chance of being cured. Early detection and treatment is always the best way to beat colorectal cancer. Besides the fecal occult blood test, now there's a new diagnostic tool.
As cancer cells split and replicate, some of their molecular markers will go into our blood, and through molecular biotechnology, such markers can be detected.
Screening is simple. Only 5 cc's of blood is needed to determine whether or not a person has the disease.
It's highly accurate. Once the test comes back, it can be interpreted that you at least have a tumor 0.2 centimeters or bigger in size.
As the new screening technique can detect colorectal cancer 3 to 8 months earlier than the traditional tests. This also means that patients will have a better chance of survival.
In Taiwan's Taichung, a middle-aged man didn't pay much attention to his constant dizziness until he passed out and was sent to the Taichung Tzu Chi hospital, where doctors discovered a tumor in his stomach. Doctors say due to unhealthy eating, gastrointestinal tumors are on the rise in Taiwan, so it is advised that people should eat more fresh vegetables and fruits and go easy on seasoning to stay healthy.
Since he suffered a stroke, Mr. Huang has used a walker to get around. Recently, he has also experienced dizziness.
I just exerted a little bit of strength and I felt lightheaded, so an ambulance came and took me to Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital.
Upon arrival, Mr. Huang was already in shock.
Due to gastrointestinal bleeding, the patient was brought to the ER. Due to the internal bleeding, he was already in shock, so that's how we discovered the cause of his condition.
The bleeding led to anemia and low blood pressure. Doctors were able to save Mr. Huang's life. They also discovered a tumor in his stomach that caused the bleeding.
It's supposed to metastasize eventually. It's growing slowly now. That's what the doctors said.
Suffering a gastrointestinal stroma tumor, Mr. Huang underwent surgery and targeted therapy. He will recover 4 months later. Doctors say GIST is on the rise in Taiwan due to smoking, drinking, and eating habits.
Don't eat spoiled food and try to stay away from processed food such as those with preservatives. How we store our food is also very important.
Eating more fresh vegetables and fruits while going easy on seasoning helps protect our digestive system and also keeps cancer away.
There are about 600,000 people in Taiwan who have hepatitis C, which is deadlier than hepatitis B, as the disease progresses much faster, leading to cirrhosis and liver cancer. Though there is no vaccine for the viral disease, it is easier to treat than hepatitis B and is completely curable. Now, a new treatment can enhance the effectiveness of the traditional method by up to 30%.
In Taiwan, hepatitis C is the second leading cause of liver failure. However, several micromolecular drugs have been discovered to help battle the disease effectively.
Micromolecular medication can effectively stop the replication of the virus. We know that the replication is closely related to liver enzymes. If we can devise a medication that can normalize liver enzyme levels, then we can limit the replication as well.
The new treatment helps raise the standard medication's effectiveness by about 30%. However, the side effects of the original medication remain.
Interferons will still reduce white blood cells and platelets. There's also fatigue. Ribavirin will cause anemia, so for the patients, the treatment will be a painful experience.
Doctors are working towards a treatment that is based solely on micromolecular medication and hope to minimize the side effects of traditional hepatitis treatment in the future.
Japanese Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a blessing ceremony in which those who suffered at the hands of the tsunami nearly a year ago were invited to attend. Participants thanked Tzu Chi for its help, and many promised to help out at Tzu Chi events in the future.
Outside, the weather in Tokyo is close to freezing. Yet inside Tzu Chi's office, located in Shin-Okubo district, one finds a scene of bustling warmth. The Dharma is front and center at the blessing ceremony. Volunteers perform sections of the Word of Repentance Sutra for the audience. Who, despite not understanding the words, are moved nevertheless.
It's because humans are too proud that today we have so many disasters. I think that we all need to re-examine how we live and during our daily lives continually reflect on our actions. This is very important.
Since the horrible disaster last year for nearly a year, Tzu Chi has been there to help residents recover. Mr. Miyagi, a volunteer in charge of organizing local volunteers, is here to present his thanks to Tzu Chi on behalf of everyone that was a recipient of its aid.
There were close to 500 households that received financial help. Today I am here on their behalf to express their deep thanks and to ask that you continue to care for us.
In addition to disaster victims, several homeless who have been long-term recipients of Tzu Chi's aid also showed up to give back.
We homeless are very happy. For myself, I love the feeling of working with others. Volunteering is not work, but a group of people who are all striving for the same goal. I am very happy today, and I plan on continuing this path of action.
Before leaving, participants sign their names as a vow to go vegetarian and pray that the great love can be brought to even more people in need.
Convenience stores in Taiwan have long worked with charity organizations by keeping donation boxes on the shop counter. Now, a new fundraising campaign for children in need has come into being. Next time when you visit a convenience store, you can ask the sales attendant to take the change from your purchase and donate it to your preferred organization. And the amount of your contribution will be stated on your receipt.
When you make a purchase at any convenience store, you will hear the familiar greeting. We all know about donating receipts to help underprivileged families, but what about donating your spare change? Recently, corporations are working with social welfare organizations to encourage members of the public to donate their spare coins.
This is something we should do. And many a little makes a mickle. Normally we get $10 or $20 back. It's only a small amount of change.
I'm very willing to donate my change. I think it's great that by giving a little of our love, children will have food to eat.
请问小姐，你的零钱需要捐出去吗？帮助弱势儿童，30元。好，谢谢。
The receipt clearly states the amount of change donated and the organization the funds go towards. The campaign is supported by the general public and corporations.
We hope to donate our love for all those needy children and spread that passion to reach those in need.
The increase in donation methods may be convenient, but it has also brought some unexpected side effects. Charity organizations faced difficulties in raising funds when the government began to promote e-receipts to save paper.
When the e-receipt came out, it became easier for people to claim their prize. The 10 million NT dollar prize is a huge temptation, so it directly influenced the amount of receipt donations we received.
How we make the donation is not the main focus. It is more important to take our environment and love into consideration when reaching out a helping hand to the needy.
Tzu Chi's study groups across Taiwan have slowly evolved from reading books to reading e-books as a way to save trees. Members use Tzu Chi's own e-reader to peruse books, make notes, and highlight and bookmark important sections. Many new users are surprised to find that the electronic gadget also comes with a unique feature that makes it possible to multitask while reading. Let's find out more. The Tzu Chi e-book reader comes with a practical function, audio dictation that allows you to listen to Master Zheng Yan's books while going about with your daily business.
It may be small, but you can pack a lot of books into it. It reads the contents out to me so I can listen to Tzu Chi's books while working.
The good thing is you don't have to carry big books. It's also convenient in that you can underline, make notes, and bookmark the pages.
Some joined the Tzu Chi study group after taking part in the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra and say that their lives underwent positive transformations.
The goodness of Buddhism and the beauty of Tzu Chi's culture have helped me become a better person and influenced my family and friends in a good way. It's wonderful and gives me a lot of Dharma joy.
Using Tzu Chi e-readers means you're just a click away from your personal collection of paperless titles for a reading experience with minimum impact on the environment. Finally, today, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines are also working to minimize the impact on the planet by giving environmental talks at a local high school. They explain to the teachers and students the importance of recycling plastic bottles that could be used to make clothes and blankets. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching Dai Headlines. Goodbye.